King Alcohol has many forms by which he catches man. He is a beast of many horns, and ever thus has been.
For there's rum,
and gin,
and beer, and wine,
and brandy of logwood hue,
and hawk,
and port,
and flip, combined
to make a man look blue.
He says be merry,
for his good sherry,
and Tom and Jerry, champagne and perry,
and spirits of every hue. Oh, are not these a fiendish crew, as ever a mortal knew? Oh, are not these a fiendish crew, as ever a mortal knew? King Alcohol is very sly, a liar.
Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen.
Hello.
Oh, that was it.
That was
the
it? Oh,
intro?
wow. That was bad, wasn't it?
That
was
was
sad.
anticlimactic.
All right, you know what, Cowboy, you take the start on
That's
that.
really
Howdy,
professional.
how y'all doing tonight?
Doing well. Yes, sir.
Well, that was original.
Even better. Hey, there's something for
Well,
consistency.
you guys are really true professionals, aren't you?
Right.
So we are we're on site again tonight. We are at one Bier Brewery with he should be an honorary pig by now.
I think he is.
Pretty sure he is.
Yeah.
I think he's basically got his own mic and everything.
He should, yes, definitely.
Initial and everything, right?
Yes.
Jerry of Bier Brewery back on the Blind Pig Confessions.
All right.
Nice to have you.
Thanks. Good to see you guys.
Yeah.
You too.
Good seeing
man.
you.
So you called us up, and I guess there's something kind of special getting ready to happen here at Bier Brewery or something like that.
Oh, yeah. Here in a couple weeks, a week from Friday, we're going to be doing the infamous Pumpkin Ale.
It is that time of season again, isn't it?
Pumpkin Ale. Last year when we released ours, it was like the third week of September. Shit, everybody else already had their stuff out.
Really?
Back in August
Really?
and so
That
forth.
early?
Yeah. Because when our guys were trying to sell it out to the different accounts, and they said, "Oh man, we got so and so's pumpkin. Got to let it go through." So we decided this year we're going to move it up at least 2 weeks.
You remember,
August just isn't right, for pumpkin ale.
No.
yet.
I
Not
agree.
yet.
But you remember last year we did comment on this. Why the hell are we seeing pumpkin beer out
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
early?
And we're
Yeah.
trying to get the jump on it now, so
Yeah.
we're going to keep coming out earlier and earlier.
Well, I think you'll. By the way, you're welcome to come out and broadcast that night if you'd like
absolutely.
to.
Did not,
Ooh.
before we can talk about that, did you have an issue with maybe because you guys get in early, because we hear about the pumpkin shortage because they're having so many issues this year with lack of rain and before the pumpkin. Now we got plenty.
Jerry, no.
You guys have any
Take
issues?
a look at my garden, guys.
Yes, we keep hearing that about the pumpkin shortage.
No, we're
Do you,
fine.
do you grow your own pumpkins?
Well, this year my wife decided she was going to, and she thought she was growing white pumpkins, for decorative.
Yeah.
They're orange.
Yeah. So you used them in beer.
The pack said white seeds. And
Yeah?
they're orange seeds.
Now, do you guys know this offhand? But does white pumpkins have a different flavor than orange pumpkins in beer?
Who gives a shit, really?
It probably doesn't have much of a
That's
flavor,
what I'm
does
saying.
it?
You
Who
just,
cares?
you just throw them in there. Why not?
Oh, wait a minute. Now that sounds like how we brew.
Yeah.
Just throw it in there. The hell with it.
Pumpkin, when you think about it,
Try
pumpkin
it.
really doesn't have a whole lot of taste.
No, it's
It's the pumpkin
spice.
pie that
It's
we're
the-
all used to. It's,
And the
it's
spices,
spices.
that goes
That's
into
exactly
it,
right.
Yeah.
yeah, it's
Exactly right.
all
Pumpkins
spice.
don't taste like Cool Whip?
That's what Cowboy usually has.
Yeah.
A whole bunch of Cool Whip, little bit of pie.
We're gonna.
If I can see my pumpkin pie on the plate, I did it wrong.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
doing it wrong, definitely.
We're gonna spoil the picture for him.
That is one of the things I can eat. That's pumpkin pie is my pie.
Oh, okay.
I kind of like that time. I love a pumpkin pie.
Yeah.
I don't eat any other kind of pie really.
Well, you've got liquid pumpkin pie here in a couple minutes when you taste this. So
It's gonna be awesome.
yeah.
Uh-oh.
So
You got to walk in.
anyway, we should have locked the doors yet. Oh, are you? No, we're closed.
We're keeping this in, by the way.
Well, Jerry's locking the door and making sure we can't get out. We do have another guest with us tonight that's going to talk about another great event coming up. We'll talk about a little bit later. But Greg from the Noblesville Brew Festival is here with us tonight. It's good to have you.
What's up, guys? Thanks for asking me.
You're welcome.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah.
So this pumpkin ale release party, what's at the party besides obviously the pumpkin
time
ale?
out. Let's go with this first. When is it?
Oh, it's a week from Friday. It's September the 9th, Friday night. We start pouring pumpkin ale at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Festivities start at 5. We got 2 bands coming in that night. We've got Movable Feast. We've got Alley's Ale House food here.
Oh.
So we got the food and we got the beer and we got some music.
Nice.
Don't ask me who's playing because I can't tell you right now.
If you've ever listened to the show, you all know that we do like Alley's Ale House food.
Oh yeah,
Well, Chef Rod.
yeah.
So are you guys going to sell, is there any special on the pints or growlers or anything like that as far as buying the beer? I mean, like when you release Sanitarium, you got the nice bottle.
This is
that kind of thing.
It's strictly tap. We'll also do growlers. And last year we had a limit of 1 growler per sale. Now this year I'm not going to say unlimited, but we can do more than 1 growler.
Now they will sell it to you in a gently used brewing bucket.
Yeah. No. That's how cowboy drinks is.
Just fill the bucket up, son.
It's usually got to have a boot.
And, we'll also have other beers. We'll have some other specialty tappings throughout the night.
Awesome.
Some crazy stuff. And also, I am promoting it, but I'm not. But ESB, our gold medal winner for the World Beer Cup.
Yes.
Will be cans available that night for the first time.
Brennan actually got good photos of it, so they should
already
be going
out there.
Nope,
Yeah,
they're
so
already out there.
that'll be available, and we're excited about that, getting that out there. And who else knows what else is going to be?
Another gold medal.
Another world gold medal.
Yes.
World gold.
Let's
Just
check
not
the
another
back-
gold. It was a world gold.
Let's just check the back wall real quick. You got a couple.
What a
of them, I
great
guess.
setting. Dang.
I do, Dankzilla. I do love seeing that coming in here. It's a tribute to all you guys' hard work, and it pays off.
Yeah, we appreciate it. I think since the last time, we also had the Indiana State Brewers Cup, too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
We actually came in, I think, the night before.
The night
or something
before?
like
Yeah.
that.
Oh,
I
okay.
think so.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it was the night or a few nights before the.
Yeah,
actual
we took 10 medals that home that day, and we tied for first for the Brewer of the Year. And on a tie-off, runoff, we did not get the cup.
Oh.
Oh, really?
Who did you tie with?
somebody else.
Highway. It's a brand new brewery up in the northeast or northwest. Highway Brewing, I think it's called.
right on.
Really?
Yeah, it's a restaurant brewery. First time out. It's kind of funny. When we were brand new, we won the cup. Chili Waters brand new, they won the cup. Highway, I think it's Byway or Highway, brand new, they win the cup. So
Interesting.
beginner's luck. Kind of. I think they took 3 golds towards the cup. We had 2 golds, 2 silvers, and 2 bronze towards the cup. And I guess the total points were the same, and I'll go into that in a minute. And then the tiebreaker was they had another gold involved in that. Now,
I wonder how much of that has to do with being it's a beer that no one's had yet. It's a different, you know what I mean?
It could be, but
I mean,
but the
Especially
judges
here in Indiana,
but the judges, they come from all over the United States.
This is
Oh,
true.
okay.
This
You know,
is true.
it's just not here, and it's not judges, and it's not customers. These are certified judges, and
Yeah.
the same. A lot of the judges go out to the GABF. They're out there.
Right.
So,
Well, I was
yeah,
looking
who knows?
I was
Who
looking
knows?
online for those. Those tickets are already sold out.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
GABF, yeah.
you can get them on like StubHub or something.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
more
Yeah.
expensive
you
than
almost
they were.
you almost have to buy them day of.
Yeah.
No, it's crazy.
crazy.
When we first started this journey back in 2010, but I think 2011 was the first year we went out there. I think you were allowed to take either 10 or 12 beers out there. Now it's down to 5 because there's so many freaking breweries.
You're right.
That's kind of neat though, really and truly. I mean,
Oh, it's a huge increase.
don't just give us all your beer. Give us your top 5.
Yeah.
That.
Well, it makes
kinda
all
neat.
the breweries really think about it.
Mhm.
About which ones they're gonna send in, and so
Those poor
yeah,
ju-
we're
those poor
looking forward to
judges. Those poor judges. Days of just drinking beer. Poor guys.
Oh,
Their
yeah.
life's hard.
Yeah, right. But like at the World Beer, and I started talking about this a second ago about the points and everything.
Mm-hmm.
In the Indiana Brewers Cup, a gold medal is 3, silver is worth 2, and a bronze is worth 1. So ours, we had 6. We had 6.
10, 12.
12. Yeah, I had 12 total. Well, anyway, whatever happened, they came up. Oh, and besides that, they also had they had 4 golds because they took the best of show. So they had 4 golds that came up to 12 points. We had 12 points, and then the golds out. That was a tiebreaker. If the World Beer Cup would have used the same counting method for the same medals, we would have won the Small Brewer of the Year in the World Beer Cup.
Oh, nice.
Oh wow.
But the World Beer Cup uses 6-5-4 for the purpose of that. They say, well, if you win 3 medals when you could only send in 4 breweries or 4 beers, percentage-wise, that's a lot harder to do. So,
Right.
we had 12 points. The winning brewery had 15 because they had an extra. I think they had a bronze in there. So, so if So where was I? If the World Beer Cup would have done the Indiana totaling, we would have taken that. If the Indiana Brewers Cup would have used the World Beer Cup method, we would have won the Brewers Cup. So, did that come out right? I'm left hand, right hand. Left hand, right hand. But anyway, it was fun. Great time this year. We took home a total of 10 medals at the Indiana State Brewers Cup.
Yeah, that's great.
How many competitions do you think you've done, or even festivals and competitions you've done so far this year, do you think?
Well, competitions, we've only done 2, the World and the State.
Oh, okay.
The third one is about to happen at the GABF.
Right.
Coming up here in about a month.
I know there's been lots of little festivals
little
and
ones.
other things, little contests.
They're all over this. We got another one from New York, and just recently, and it said this is the international fest that you want to be involved in. It's
of course.
So everybody's saying that now. I don't think we sent anything on that one. So yet, I mean, I'm not saying it's not one to do, but Darren just didn't have the stuff done, and we have got so much other stuff.
Oh yeah, you got to
right
start
now.
picking and choosing, and
Yeah.
You guys have other things like Pumpkin Beer Day.
Yeah, Pumpkin Beer Day.
You guys did you were at Dig In. We were just at Dig In last week, and you guys were there representing there. So.
Yeah, we had our Kolsch down there, and I understand it went really well. The whole event ran.
Your line was long.
great. Yeah,
I'll tell you that. The Bier Brewery line was
and it didn't
long.
go down.
No.
So
they worked hard.
No, we enjoyed it. And you know what? We talked about this before, and I'm gonna beat a dead horse again. But all that hardware on the wall right there, whether it's state, national, or World Beer Cup. What that tells our customers is that when you come in here, we're consistent on our brewing. You're going to be rewarded on any style that you get.
Mm-hmm.
If a beer is not to style and it's not to Darren's or the other brewers' specs, you're never going to taste it. It's not going to happen.
Right.
And that's the point we want to keep driving home to everybody. It's Darren will tell you that he's got the most respect for the big guys, and the reason for it is no matter where you go in the world, it's the same frickin' beer day in and day out, and people don't realize how difficult that is.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So that is telling our customers that is what we're geared in towards, is the consistency, the quality of the beer day in and day out, and that's what we stand for.
And
I think I've said it before.
Of it, yeah.
Pardon me. Yeah.
They have so many awards on the wall. They're going to need a bigger wall soon.
Amen. That's okay. We can do that. We can do that.
Yeah,
We'll figure out some way to do that.
I like hearing that.
Yeah. So, but we're looking forward to it, and I think next Friday, a week from this Friday, is going to be a lot of fun. We've got we'll have a patrol out there, making sure that people are getting in and out safely across the street, and we've had it here before where we've gotten so busy, kind of became scary busy. Just started getting so full, but. We're looking forward to it.
You actually got to start pouring beers?
Pardon me?
It's where you actually have to start pouring beers, too?
Who poured your beer tonight, buddy?
You.
Who brought Cowboy along tonight, anyway?
I know, right? It was either me or him.
Thank God Cowboy's here, and he's leaving me alone.
Hey, I do want to say one thing I've noticed that is different since the last time we chatted is that I've noticed you got some new headphones, a little different color headphones over there for the girls. Look at that.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
Well, normally we give them to the guests, but somebody set up the system wrong.
Ooh, blue and white. Like that.
It's like
Actually, I think
pastel blue,
It is
too.
a pastel blue. It looks
real
good on
nice.
his.
Good with his color, doesn't it?
It's a good color on me. I love it.
Brings out that shit tone in his eyes.
Okay, it's slowly going downhill here. Cowboy's getting into it.
It's so much better to go downhill, though. Fat guys like going downhill.
Okay, you guys want to taste the pumpkin?
I think we're at that
absolutely.
point.
Before you taste it, just take the nose off of it.
Oh, it's absolutely killer.
So what's the base on this?
Pumpkin.
Ale, lager. What's the?
Is there some allspice
Is it
in
a-
there, Jerry?
It's the pumpkin ale release.
Okay.
Take after drinking the other beer, you got to take a sip or two, and
Tell
then.
you what, that's
Now, keep in mind, this just got kegged, so normally we would not release it today.
Right.
But since you guys were here, I felt that we at least need to taste it.
Good choice.
It's to me, it might be a hair green just because they kegged it yesterday.
Yeah.
Okay.
Needs to set a little
This-
bit.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's crazy. That's still very predominant. Still really clean. It's really
Oh, yeah.
fresh. I mean,
So
killer
this
beer.
time or next Friday when they do it, it'll be a killer. It'll be a killer.
Yeah, a lot of times with the pumpkin, they kill you with a clove or nutmeg, or they overpower something a lot of times, or don't give you enough. You don't even
Yeah.
don't even get that pumpkin out of it
Yeah,
at all.
Too sweet,
Nice.
or too spicy. And
Yeah.
And
that'll be
yeah.
one of the issues.
Well, the nutmeg too. You can
Oh, yeah.
so overdo the nutmeg,
Yeah.
and just
Easily.
just takes a little bit, and you're done, and it's overdone.
yeah.
It's delicious.
Now, is this
It is.
recipe the same recipe does of yours? Is he kind of the seasonal stuff? Does he play
That's
with a little bit, or
Same recipe. I think last year we did it in 7 barrels. We're doing it in 40 barrels. So you've got to rectify it a little bit to adjust it to hit the 40 barrels. So
are you putting in and you may not know, maybe Darren more. Are you putting in like a fresh, scooped out of the pumpkin type, flesh, or are you using I don't know what how you do it, or where do you put it in the mix? As far as is it in the boil? Is it in the secondary or anything?
that I can't.
Darren.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, I
gotcha.
can tell you,
can
but
tell
I
he's not
don't.
going
think
Oh, he's
it's-
not gonna.
You can tell
I
he's
can
gonna
tell
kill you.
But he's got to
You know.
kill me and erase my hard drive here with
Secrets. We gotta have secrets, guys. You don't tell your wives everything, do you?
Well,
Well,
no,
yeah,
I don't have one. So
No.
You don't tell your boyfriends everything, then, do you?
That is why we keep Jerry coming
hey,
back.
what the hell? You got Cowboy here now.
I know.
I would say if I were to guess, though, that it definitely is fresh pumpkin. Don't know where they put it
Yeah.
in, but it definitely is made with fresh pumpkin.
Well, you're not
Fake
gonna
pumpkin
take the-
has a very distinct flavor, and you can taste that in some of the pumpkin beers. If you use like pumpkin extract or pumpkin flavoring.
You're not going to open up a can of pumpkin pie mix and throw it in the boil. I know that.
Says who?
No.
Well, really?
you
I mean,
could. I mean,
I'm honestly, Cowboy might actually want to put some whipped cream or some Cool Whip on top of that beer. He might
It doesn't need it. I mean, it's
a pumpkin cream ale, a pumpkin whipped cream ale.
for being as light as it is still really creamy. It's still got an aspect of creaminess to it.
it's got the perfect amount of sweetness too.
There's not.
It's just nice and it's got a hint of sweet, but it doesn't like
Yeah.
Yeah.
make me feel like I need to go drink a glass of water because it was so
I
sweet.
wish I knew what the hops.
I mean,
there's a hops bitter on the back end, but it's not bad at
The
all.
thing about pumpkin ales too is that you want to drink one, at least one, but we like to say with ours, you can sit down and have a couple of them. I've had some pumpkin ales that, man, it's so sweet that I can't even finish it, and then it ruins my taste
yeah,
buds.
there's
for the
usually
rest
too
of
much
the
of a
night.
punch somewhere that
Yeah.
you're one and done. But yeah, I could definitely drink a couple of
It's
these.
the,
usually the clove and the allspice.
Yeah.
is what they kill it. Clove,
Yeah.
allspice, or the nutmeg that just kill it.
Yeah.
What's the ABV on this one?
It's going to be it'll be around 5 for sure, in that
Okay.
give or take a little bit, but in that
And that
vicinity.
still makes it a good summer to fall transition beer because you start getting really high, that gets you really dehydrated.
Yeah.
And you can't really enjoy those outside, even if it is a light
Right.
beer. If you get a high ABV, you're just drying yourself out.
This is kind of like a cigar, or well, I'm a cigarette smoker. Cigarette pipe, something outside by the fireplace.
Oh yeah.
All right,
Or by the
Grandpa.
fire pit. That's what it.
Well,
that's
just-
what it reminds me of, though. Just the taste of the pumpkin pie and a nice cigar, or a nice.
What's going to
pipe.
happen?
your shawl and
Guys, this weekend it's starting. It's
It
going
is
to get down
starting,
into the 50s this weekend. Little bonfire, little fire pits out there with the
Believe
pumpkin
it.
ale. Or
Believe it when I see it.
it's the greatest season. That's the best.
I don't think.
Yeah.
I think it's a lie. It's not going to get down to 50.
I
It was
doubt it.
900 degrees on the last place we were at all day long.
Suckers.
Welcome back to
That was
Indiana.
hot.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Yes, but the
It'll-
beer brewery kept us hydrated.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
that's
did keep
for
us
damn sure.
hydrated at the Dig In event.
They
Oh,
made
did
sure
they?
we didn't wait, and we got our beer. And
Yeah.
Of course, we did sneak around the backside. It's not like we waited in line.
Were you guys pretty close to the area?
actually, yeah, we were fairly close. We're catty corner from
Okay.
you guys. It's just one tent in between us. So yeah,
Cool.
we were close
And
enough.
we
that
had
was our
beer.
stop.
They gave us beer brewery cups, so we didn't have to bother with the little.
So
baby
technically, we
samples.
advertised for you all day because we had
Thank you.
these exact cups sitting on the blind pig table all day long.
Actually, you have more people trying to come in.
Really?
Yep.
You know what? Maybe we need to start opening
on
up
Tuesday,
on Tuesdays.
Yeah, apparently.
at least for a short couple hours.
Yeah, no
I actually
kidding.
think it'd be very beneficial.
They
Apparently,
thought Hamilton was going to be here.
Just open up from like 5 to 8, and then
Well, next Monday we're going to be open on Labor Day from 1 to
Really?
11 to 5. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So
Most everybody else is going to close.
is it starting next Monday or just
just
before
for Monday, just for Labor Day. It's a holiday.
Okay.
Yep.
So we'll be,
Oh, that's
for those picnic last minute emergencies. We'll be hoping for that.
Right on.
So, hey, did you guys get through the storm this past weekend? Okay.
I did.
It took me. I was flying in from work, and I got in on Friday when like Castleton and all that flooded.
Yeah.
And I was coming in from the airport. It took me 2.5 hours to get from the airport up to 141st and Maryland area.
We lost power at 8:30 in the morning, and it didn't come back on until 12:30 that night. And all the beer that we brewed last week,
No.
gone.
Really?
Yeah. And thank God. I mean, it was a little bit of a lighter week because we had been stockpiling a little bit. So from that standpoint, it wasn't that bad, but it still was bad. You know.
Yeah.
No,
Dang.
Yeah.
Any loss of beer is a bad
And
thing.
it was just the beers and the fermenters because
Yeah.
during the fermentation process, and damn
You
stuff
got to
got
keep them at a certain
Next
temperature.
got up to about 84, 86. All the beers are toast on that one. So.
Next investment, a generator.
I know some places
we
could have
looked
taken them.
to run some of this equipment, you need an awful big generator, though. I mean,
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I've seen some of the big ones in some of the places,
Yeah.
hospitals, and even some of the
Yeah.
doctors' offices I've worked at that have like surgery centers. They have to have
we're-
a huge one out back.
We're with those guys.
Yeah, because you got to keep the equipment running for the surgeries and all
Right.
We're working on a setup where all they have to do is bring it in and we'll plug it in. So
that. Oh, a little just
that won't happen again.
a
Hopefully,
quick
Nice.
emergency one on
Yeah.
a trailer or something.
Yeah.
That'd be
so
It'll probably save you a lot in the long. Well, yeah, it's a kind of a 50-50. Might save you a lot. It might not, depending on how much it costs.
well,
them
in
to
the
come
past
out.
though, every time the power went out, it's only goes out for a couple hours, 3 hours. Well, it doesn't affect the beer that much. The beer can raise a
No, the
a
amount it's
couple.
gonna- yeah.
But in that 16, 18 hours that we were out, I mean, it went from 68 all the way up to 84.
Oh, yeah.
And once you pass that 74 threshold,
You're done.
you're done. It's toast. So
And we know that just from our homebrewing experience.
Yeah.
We actually lost our first batch last week too, and I cried.
He
but
did.
it wasn't from
from a power outage,
No, we
it
missed
got
something
it got an infection or something. It was soured.
bad.
It tasted like it had lacto, or it tasted like it had Brett in it. Is what it tasted
yeah.
like.
I love how you said.
Couldn't we
"Oh,
call that
I
a
kept a couple
sour
bottles
co-
for you guys.
Call it a sour.
I did keep a couple bottles because Pat likes sours. He might like it. It's not going to hurt him to drink it. It's perfectly fine to drink. It just
Be
sour.
careful when you open it up.
Yeah.
though.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're still working on that carbonation issue.
Yeah.
I did. We had a couple of our beers, and we had gone somewhere, and I'd taken a cooler of them, and because some of our other ones that still have we're having a little carbonation issue, and I accidentally dropped it back in the cooler, and literally no more than a foot, and it hit another bottle, and both of them exploded like it was a grenade. I found glass in the living room.
Oh, yeah.
And on top of the fridge.
It is. It's. Thank God it didn't find one in your eye.
No,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
got glasses on,
Oh,
thankfully.
okay.
I think that's the only thing that saved me was
Yeah.
I have some glasses on, and it was just like, oh, what?
Yeah.
So we need a couple lessons.
That's
kidding.
awesome.
We're still getting it down.
So Jerry, there's another festival coming up soon in
Yep.
Hamilton County,
Yeah. Noblesville, huh?
Noblesville. So you guys are at that one, right?
Oh, sure. Hell yeah.
And I think Greg, who sat here so quietly and patiently, is here to tell us a little bit about that particular festival.
Yeah. Finally, he gets to talk, right?
Apparently, Greg hasn't been on the show before. If you got something to say, just
Just say it.
All right. About, it's
Especially when Jerry's on, you just got to butt in.
Oh, well, screw you too. You know.
Don't listen to him, Jerry. I
Now it's getting shitty in here.
I just have one question for you guys. Are you hiring?
we can always use some extra pigs.
All right.
Well, yeah. Wait. Are you getting paid? What's going on here?
Not yet.
Cowboy pays Jerry.
Sometimes. Something's got to bring
In
him back.
favors.
It's not our communication skills here.
I'm going to leave that one alone.
This is Dwayne Finley from FlowCombat.com, rocking with Blind Pigs Confessions. Listen up, everybody. It's coming weekly to you.
This is Stephen Hackney with the Smormobile, talking to you live with the Blind Pig Confessions.
All right. So
Yeah.
Greg, do you want to tell us a little bit about the festival coming up, man?
Sure. Well, it's September 24th. We like to think of Brewfest as an event that has a little bit of something for everybody. The crown jewel, the centerpiece of the whole thing is the Indiana Brewers Tent, where notables like Bier Brewery and Jerry and the crew will be that day. We'll have about 20 other brewers in there as well. In addition to that, we've got a pavilion for national and international brands, and we've got a pavilion for regional brands. And new to Brewfest this year, we're going to have a dedicated wine tent. So wives, girlfriends, People
Cowboy.
that like hard ciders, whatever. If Heineken's
Really? You
your
want
thing, we'll
Cowboy
be
on that
sampling
one?
Heineken. If you want to try some pumpkin from Jerry's Bier Brewery, maybe
Amen.
we'll have that too.
Amen.
Yeah.
This is benefiting what?
100% of the profits from the Brewfest go to support the public pool in Noblesville.
Nice.
And that kind of tells the tale about our volunteers. We've got a core group of 100 volunteers. We have 75 of them are licensed pourers. They're very passionate about what they're doing on that day. They project well to the public, and they really care about what they're doing on that particular day. So they really want it to be a success. We're very welcoming to everybody. We're nice to everybody. And it's just a great day to come to Noblesville and beautiful Forest Park and have a great time. We've got Living Proof scheduled as our band again this year. They're one of Indy's top cover bands. We've got free cornhole games for the patrons. We added free bottled water this year for the patrons. And as always,
How much beer you drink? That's probably a necessity.
Hydrate, yeah.
and as always, designated drivers are free for Brewfest.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
How far do they go, though?
How far do they go?
Yeah.
The drivers?
Yeah.
You don't sign up when you get there for a designated driver, cowboy.
I'll take the one that goes out to New Pal, please.
It's also when Cowboy asks how far somebody goes. It's
Yeah.
a
You gotta
totally
be-
different question
Yeah,
usually.
whoa. Now, where's
why
this
I
going
giggled.
here? You know what's interesting about this Brewfest, though, is that when you think about it, is that if they didn't have this, that pool would not exist up
Yeah.
there for everybody. That's what people don't understand, how important the Beer Fest is for Noblesville at that time.
And there was an Olympic medalist that trained there, correct?
Yeah. Well, actually, Greg Louganis dived there back in the, I guess it was the 90s or the 80s. David Bodaya learned to dive there. Steele Johnson dived there. He was also an Olympic medalist. So we've had a lot of great divers go through there. John Wingfield, the Olympic coach from 2008, is still conducting diving camps there yet this summer. We get Olympians from all around the world. There was a Japanese Olympian there this year. A lot of top collegiate divers come in for the whole summer and dive with John's group. The Indianapolis Water Polo Club works out there, the Noblesville Adult Swim Team, the Noblesville Swim Club. We give swim lessons. We're open to the public. I mean, it's a very busy facility. Our only challenge is these days, summer in Noblesville is 2 months long because the school year is 10 months long.
Yeah.
So our window for making money is very short.
Yeah.
So Brewfest is absolutely essential to keeping the pool open.
Now, how many years has this been going on, the Brewfest?
This is our 7th. We actually started in the Moose Lodge in 2010.
Oh, wow.
And we had maybe 200 people. We were afraid the brewers and the distributors wouldn't come back for year 2 with that kind of crowd, but everybody stuck with us, and we've just kind of added on each year. Last year we had 1,500 attendees.
Oh, wow. I was just looking at the lineup from last year. It was amazing.
Yeah, no
I didn't
doubt.
realize
The
how
amount of
big it
beers.
was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had no clue how big it was there.
And we've got security by Noblesville
Yeah.
Police. So, everybody's safe, everybody's cool. And again, it's such a beautiful venue, nobody's going to get out of hand.
Yeah, Forest Park is really cool.
Yeah.
So what got you involved in this?
I started 7 years ago as a pourer, just, and that's the whole key to our event. Again, it goes back to the volunteers. We have people that have done the same job for 6-7 years, poured the same beer for 6 or 7 years. We've got a guy who's in charge of fencing because the venue has to be fenced in. That's
Yeah.
his job. He's got a crew, and he puts the fence up every year, takes
Nice.
it down every year. We got a trash guy who goes around and collects all the trash for recycling. We've got tear-down crews. We've got set-up crews. Just everybody's taken ownership of their role, and it just made all the difference.
So when you pour, one for you, one for me, one for you. One for me.
That's the way it goes a lot of times.
I like it. I'm
Don't let Cowboy pour.
Where can I start pouring?
I was going to say, do you have your internet group yet for the event? Because I think I know some guys that can come down and record for you down there.
The band, and we have house music around the band, so the airwaves are pretty tight that day, but you guys are welcome to be there.
That'd be awesome. We'd love to record, interview some of the breweries and all that.
Oh, yeah.
Cool. Yeah, we'll get you tickets for that.
That'd be awesome. Thank you.
I'm sure Jerry will stop by and talk a little bit for us.
Are you going to be at that one, Jerry?
Yeah. Sure, yeah.
Then, of
Yeah.
course, Jerry will be on the show. If Jerry's there, he'll be on the show.
Well, pretty much.
So,
Hey, guys, you're making me feel bad here now.
Why?
are you kidding me? We love having you on the show.
Am I a mic hog or something?
No.
No, not at all. We actually like it.
I do like
we
how you
tease
said
you.
hog, though.
Yeah.
I see what you did there, and I enjoyed it.
Remember, you got to when you're hanging out with the pigs. If we're not making fun of you, then you,
Yeah, but I'm
Something's
awful.
wrong.
But I'm awful thin-skinned, guys.
oh yeah, right.
you know me by now.
Jerry the Hog. I like that.
Got to be gentle.
Well, that fits with the pig. That fits with the whole pig thing.
Speaking of pigs, where's the mascot? You said you're going to bring it here.
And I should have. I was going to, but then I was like, nah. He can run around here, but I didn't want him to get into anything. But now that I look, and there's not a whole lot he's really going to mess with. So
are animals
next
allowed?
time we'll definitely bring him.
Are animals allowed at the Noblesville Brewfest?
Dogs, things like that, huh?
Well,
Girlfriends, wives?
Greg, are animals allowed at all?
No animals, and nobody under 21 either.
Darn, okay.
No animals. This
Well,
leaves
no
this
pigs.
group out,
Yeah, I was
guys.
gonna say,
We
probably not
can record outside again.
Yeah.
We have a live pig as a mascot. So pig lives in my house, and he's our mascot.
He was talking about that fence earlier. We probably got to
Yeah.
be right.
Those animals stay outside.
But it's a seeing-eye pig for Jordan.
So this is a 21 and over event. You said?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Okay.
So, and some of them are, and some of them aren't. So you always have to ask that question
Yeah.
because, like for instance, we were at Dig In last week, which is a huge event, but they also do a lot of food too, and they're all ages.
Right.
But then we've been to many of them. We've been to Pies for Pints. We've been for
Hot Model.
Next Hot Model. Those were 21 and over events.
Yeah.
So it depends on what the event is and what the venue is and that
Right.
kind of thing.
Pumpkin
so,
Ale obviously is 21 and older too.
Yeah.
right.
It's got to be a lot easier to maintain your crowd when you're not letting anybody through the gate that's under 21 for an event like that. I would hate to be at Dig In
Well,
and
you
have
don't have
to
to worry.
monitor that kind of stuff.
Well, you don't have to worry so much about the wristbands and all that.
Yeah.
If everybody
Yeah,
at
it's-
the gate has to be 21 right away, it's
Yeah.
Where was I going to go? I had a question there. Never mind. Move on. You guys go. Whatever.
Yeah, and plus, a lot of our listeners have families, so we can tell them right off, hey, find somewhere for the kids to go and come out to this event, make it an adult day, make it a date day, whatever, something like that.
And it's
So-
actually in the evening too,
It's
right?
3 to 7. It's
3
a
to
great
7.
time. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
perfect.
Right. That's a nice time. Not
Yeah.
the sun's going. It's getting a little cooler in the end of the day. It's not way right at the middle of the heat.
So what time do vendors have to show up to set up?
Vendors can show up anytime after 9 a.m. All the way up till 2. We'd like to have everybody in by 2.
Okay.
That's awesome.
And we have 6 food trucks this year, silent auction, just a lot going on. So
Can we auction
Come on
off
out.
Pat this year?
can you what?
Can we auction off Pat this year?
Well, yeah.
Is there a bachelor auction? There you go.
Win a date with Pat.
Dream date with Patrick.
25 cents.
That venue though, which is fun. It's too bad it's not for the kids, but you've got the train museum right there too.
The train museum's there.
Jordan's
absolutely.
riding a train. I know Jordan's going to try to hop on the train.
And that's a lot of fun, whether you have the kids or not. I mean,
Yeah.
it is a lot of fun out there.
And there's plenty of parking in the park itself, and if the park fills up, you can park downtown Noblesville and walk across the footbridge.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Nice.
Since it's later in that September time frame, I'm wondering how many other the breweries that are going to show up are going to try to bring in a pumpkin ale to start rolling out at that time. It'll be interesting to see how
Bring
many of
it
them
on.
are there.
Bring it on.
Bring it
Jesus.
on.
That's a great question, Pat. So how many beers are the breweries allowed to bring to this event? Or do you guys not limit them?
We don't specify.
Yeah.
Well, we've been at some
Nice,
that like depending on who's holding it, like even a Dig In, kind of the chilling and all that was handled by. It was very limited, so they couldn't bring in their own trucks and their own setups. And
The way it's
cooler setups.
dispensed and so forth, but
Yeah.
I think we in the past have had maybe 3 different styles up there. I don't know.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, again, I was really impressed looking at that list just from last year because most people had 4 or 5. Some had 4 or 5 beers in there.
Oh yeah,
It was
but like
impressive.
There's a couple actually from the larger like the big industrial ones. There's 7, 8, 9 beers they've got on their list that you guys served out last year.
Yeah.
Now, at this event, how does it work? If I come up and someone comes up and they buy a ticket for this event and they get in, how does it work from there? Do they get free samples? Do they have to buy all their beers? How does that exactly work?
They get free samples. The only thing they have to pay for is food. We have 6 food trucks. They can bid on the silent auction items. Again, water's free, cornhole's free, the band's free. So once you're in the gate, you're pretty well covered unless you're hungry.
Is it a commemorative like glass, or is there plastic cups around? Or?
Get a commemorative cup. That's I think a 5-ounce cup. So most of the pours are 2.5 to 3 ounces.
Sure.
Awesome.
Well, yeah,
After 4 hours, that's a lot of beer, guys.
Yeah.
That's,
Oh,
yeah,
we
you
know
don't
a
need
lot
any
of beer.
longer than that at a festival. Like that, no.
How many breweries are signed up so far?
I think we have 22, and a couple more are coming with their distributors instead of bringing kegs, like St. John's way up north in Indiana, and some people like that aren't in this local market much.
Yeah, even if 20 of them brought one beer, I mean that's enough for That's enough samples for a while.
And
3 ounces, yeah.
It ain't a challenge to
3-4
try to
ounces,
finish
that's
all
good.
of it. It's meant to have a good time and there for the charity and all that.
Excellent. Sounds like a great time, and we're looking forward to coming out there and hanging out with you guys and recording, and just to let you know what we do. We go up to the breweries and we say, hey, come on the show, and then we just talk about the event and get to know the brewers, and our job, I guess, on the show, and Jerry can attest this, is we help to tie the craft beer community together. When we meet new brewers and we go new places, we just talk to them about the craft beer. Hey, are you into craft beer? If they're not, we talk to them about it, and we just kind of help everybody tie together. That's what we're here to do, is really push everything craft, everything local, and help everybody kind of tie that together. So that's why we exist, and that's what we're here to do, and that's just because we do love the craft beer scene and everything.
Yeah, and I think this is the first time that pigs like you like beer, too, isn't it?
No, not at all.
No.
We get music involved. We get a lot of the local musicians come on the show, and
now we got dancing pigs, right?
there you go. Yeah,
We got comedy pigs. We got we got MMA fighters on. MMA people. Yeah, I mean we're branching all out of the distilleries. We've actually met a few cool people and some new distilleries and new locations that have massive collections of craft spirits that through this that we're going to go hang out with and learn new stuff. It's great.
That's a whole new segment of the market now too. Your distillers, micro distillers.
Yeah, they're just blowing up. I mean, it's amazing.
And they're doing some really good stuff. I mean,
they are.
Granted, there's some bad ones out there.
Well, that goes with anything.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I mean, there's a lot of good beer and there's a lot of shitty beer out there too.
There's a lot of people who have money and no skill, and somehow they put some stuff out there, but it's. We ran into a couple of those on one of our road trips down south.
They somehow keep getting money out of it.
Yeah, and somebody's got money to burn. I mean, but when your craft spirit there tastes like dirt and grass and...
I'm not going to say who it is. But that I read a lot on that company or that distillery, and they get kudos, and I don't know why. I don't know it's just because of what they're doing. But that stuff was horrible.
Brendan, I won't mention it either on the show, but there are some breweries in this city that have a decent amount of business, and their beer's awful, and we know that. We all know that.
Well,
you go in and you're like, wow, all their beer tastes horrible.
It's awful from our palate.
Still have,
yeah, I mean, if you like it, you like it. Who cares?
Yeah. Well, and I understand what you're saying, Pat. But when you have 5 guys that go and sit together at a brewery, and none of them can find a single beer that any of them like, my first feeling would be that they probably aren't making great beer. But they still have customers coming in the door.
Well, you got some nice venues out there.
Yeah,
I mean, the venue does not make you have good beer.
Right.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
You got a good, and if some people can survive on a good food, good venue, and so forth. And if they have guest taps, that'll help you survive.
Right.
But I read an article recently is that as a consumer, all of us should be more demanding of our craft brewers, our craft breweries in your local town, because we're asking $5, and some people even go up as much as $6 a pint. Well, when you go out, you want to make sure that you're spending your money wisely. If you can't get a good beer from your local brewery, at least when you buy a Bell's or a Founders or a New Belgian, you're getting exactly what you pay for. So this article was interesting, and I totally agree with it. Is that we consumers have got to hold our breweries accountable for their beer. And I think as we all get smarter and move on, that's exactly what's starting to happen. They might try you once or twice, but after that, if you can't be consistent and you can't bring the beer to the table, good beer to the table, I don't care how nice the venue is, eventually it's going to catch up with you.
Yeah, that bubble is going to burst at some point, so you better be making good beer.
Yeah.
And that's all there is to it.
And we do like to be honest on the show.
All the brewers and breweries want everybody's to succeed, but if you're not doing good beer out there, or if you're not doing good spirits out there, you're taking room from somebody else. And I mean, it's like any other industry. Like you said before, the bubble will burst. There's going to be a market correction. I know some people here recently. It might have been Amy asking some questions out there on Twitter about, are we to the saturation point? And there were some comments made from different breweries and so forth. I don't think so.
I don't think so.
And Skip from Chili Water had a good one. He said, they're there. They've got their pocket. They're not trying to do a production brewery and so forth. They're not spending millions of dollars. They got a niche right there, and they're very successful, and they make good beer. A lot of these new breweries coming in that they're canning before they even have anybody's tasted their beer out there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nobody knows what it is. The things you're facing is, one, shelf space in the package stores,
Right.
tap space in the bars and restaurant. There's only so much. If their business plan is produce and can right away before anybody tastes your beer, that's one philosophy. I don't see that happening going very far. I mean, all the national writers and so forth of the different magazines, and there was an article not too long ago from out in Colorado, is that you build a brand on premise. You don't build a brand off premise. It's got to be you got to
Right.
get your beer out
Right.
there and so forth, and get it in people's hands. Before they go out and spend $5 on a beer or 10, 12 bucks on a 6-pack.
Right.
You got to get in their hands.
Well, even throwing into can first. Can tastes different. It's your tap is always going to be a little different from your can, flavor and all that. So if you're throwing straight in there, you don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're giving them one flavor profile. So
And that's I guess that's another day for another discussion. But
Yeah.
I think a lot of that sometimes is psychological too. that
Is it?
Something tastes differently? I bet you I could take some cans up there of and I don't have Weizengut right now on tap. I could put Weizengut there and pour a can in there as well. Blind taste you, and I think you might have difficulty tasting it.
Yeah, I
maybe
think
it's from the old day. With the newer canning methods, maybe they were protecting it from that metal, because it was always seemed a little bit.
Well, I think,
Different.
like you said, I think if you have a good process and
Yeah.
you're doing it the right way every time, then you shouldn't have those issues. But we've seen canning issues from craft brewery. We've had it.
We've had our own.
Oh.
Yeah, exactly.
But I mean, we've seen canning issues from small breweries.
Yeah.
But they don't have the process down yet. So
Well, and I don't know if you're talking about. We had a canning issue about 3 weeks ago.
I'm sure everybody does that.
But what it wasn't a beer issue. It was a canning issue where their crimping machine that crimps the top on the cans was not. It was off sync by a decimal, and we just canned 480 cases, and half of those the lid's coming off. Of them. I mean, it was a 3-week process where they had to come back in. They had to go can by can and test it for us, and then now I should say we lost. They lost because it was at their expense.
Right.
200 and almost 20 cases of that. Now that process is because of the machinery, and when you think about it, those guys have got to really dial that in. Those mobile canners, they got a great business plan, and it's a great concept. The only trouble is that machine's going down the road to my brewery, and then coming to yours, and coming to
Right.
yours.
Yeah, well, yeah.
All these measurements and so forth that are dialed in
They're always moving.
once, they're constantly moving.
Yeah.
So you got to be really careful about that. And now I think after they had that problem, they are really dialed in much better, and I think they've eliminated that. I think they go through a couple tests before they obviously start wasting
Batch
somebody's
run,
beer.
right.
Yeah.
So like that. But that's going to happen.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's a great discussion. I'd like to. I want to bring Greg back in real quick and ask him a question. You said you started out as a pourer over on the Noblesville Brewfest, right?
That's correct.
How long's have you been drinking craft? I mean, since you've been involved in this in a while. I think we asked this of a lot of our new guests, as if you've been doing craft beer and all that. Do you like craft beer? Or are you kind of more of a general beer drinker?
I do like craft beer. Mostly I like IPAs, but, my beer drinking goes back to my high school days when we were drinking Stroh's Fire Brewed, and that to me was
Amen.
the best out
Stroh's
there.
Fire Brewed?
Yeah.
I've never heard of that in my life.
Never heard of Stroh's?
No, I heard of Stroh's. Is that just?
That's
I thought that might have been
Fire Brewed beer?
No, that's fire.
Oh,
beer.
okay.
And
By general, okay.
Stroh's is still one of my favorite summertime beers. I love Stroh's in the
Where do you
summer.
find
I
it?
do too.
Oh, you can get it everywhere now.
Can you?
Oh, yeah.
Stroh's? Oh yeah, everywhere. Just about every liquor store.
And
you
now
pick up
they're
Stroh's.
they would be going. They're back in Detroit. So
Well, all those old ones are coming. I mean, a lot of those old brands are coming
the
back
ones
and all
that
that.
survived, they're coming back. Yeah.
Did you ever have any like an AHA beer in like the last? When you kind of really started branching out past that. Do you remember any one of those ones where you're like, oh, this is not that mainstream beer, even something that really got you?
PDG. I like PDG a lot.
That's
Nice.
a good answer.
Good beer.
That's a pretty damn good beer.
Okay, here's your $20. Thanks.
Grapefruit Jungle this year I thought was excellent. I like stuff in that vein.
Yeah. I'm more of a. We'll have some of us are the stout guys. I'm the sour guy and the stout guy. Brendan, you guys like a little of the IPA, but not too hoppy, right?
I'm more of a stout porter, but A good beer is a good beer.
Well, now that I'm in the craft scene, I have an appreciation for all of them across the board.
Yeah.
So even a good balanced IPA is delicious to me. It's the IPAs that are just hopped to throw hops in that I don't
for
care
no
for.
reason at all. Yeah.
And then there's Weizengut that I could drink that all day, every day, and just be a happy man. So
We've gone through kegs of that, man.
I know. It's good stuff.
I've always said you guys are extremely intelligent.
Is Weizengut your wheat beer?
Yeah, or Hefeweizen, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's delicious.
Yeah, and I was never a
some
big
beer.
I was never a big Heffy person back in the day.
I only
at
like
all.
a couple of them, and I love that one. That's
Yeah,
one of the
we
few that's
were-
just done right.
I think we rolled through that on a Memorial Day party, right?
Yeah.
Jordan.
Yep.
I mean, we
Yeah,
rolled.
well, you guys
through.
had a keg, didn't you?
Yeah,
We rolled
for a little
through
while.
that keg.
It didn't last long.
Fast.
Very little while, yeah.
That'll probably be one that we take up to Noblesville.
Yeah. Well, it's still summery enough,
Oh,
and
yeah.
it's not too
Yeah.
winter to
Well,
switch
it's Indiana.
over.
It's still going to be warm, but
Yep.
well, it's just fall time. That's the fall week, right?
Well,
Yeah,
speaking
so
of
that'll be-
speaking of perfect timing, what about Scott 80?
Yeah, actually, we haven't even talked about that. We
Is
were
that-
drinking
is
that
that
a little
good?
Scottish,
earlier.
yeah, it's pretty good beer.
Cowboy
isn't
loved it.
Oh, it's fantastic.
It's a
That's actually
What is the Scottish 80?
It's a Scottish shilling. It's not a Scotch ale. It's in the old days they had a shilling was the value of money.
Yep.
And the heavier, the darker the beer was more expensive. So if they didn't have a lot of money, they go down and say, "Hey, give me this the Scottish." It'd be 60 shilling. So you have 60, 70, and 80. Virtually what it is. So if we had the 60 here, it'd be a little bit lighter than the 80, and
Nice,
right on
nice.
out. So, but
it's fantastic.
yeah,
beer.
it's a great beer.
It's light and crisp. I mean, all beer.
Not too malty.
No, not too malty at all. But you still get that back end sweetness. I think it's a great beer. I think it's a great fall beer.
Mhm.
So I hope you have it at Noblesville.
Oh well,
I think it deserves
a lot of it
spot.
depends upon what we've got, on tap of that day.
Nobody
You know,
drink
yeah.
it except for me.
Yeah.
I will say though, drinking the Scottish 80 with the pumpkin ale, they actually kind of complemented each other because I was kind of drinking back and forth together on them, and it was nice. I liked it.
We call that a hairy buffalo.
I didn't mix them together. I didn't try to make a black and tan out of them, but
That's a
I
20
mean,
shilling.
I think it's a perfect fall beer. I mean, it may be after Sanitarium, of course.
Oh yeah,
My
yeah,
new
yeah.
favorite Bier Brewery beer.
Yeah, that's good,
So-
cowboy. That's
So-
good.
It's really
That's
Jerry,
good.
do you guys? I've only seen this at very few craft breweries, and I'm just gonna. I won't say any names. Do you guys ever try to mix your beers together to create a second beer?
No.
Okay,
Thank God.
that's
Never.
a good idea.
Please don't.
Yeah, we've seen it at a couple places, and I'm like, why do you
Never.
do that? Is your beer should stand alone on its own? Why do we have to mix a beer with another beer to come up with a third beer? I don't get that
think,
concept.
I think if our history, if you know our history, is that with Darren, I mean, it's traditional style, and that's what he's always gone after. He hasn't tried to be too funky and so forth. I mean, yeah, we've had some fruit beers before and things like that, but for the most part, it's all very traditional type styles, and I think, and that's what these when you enter a contest and go to like the GABF or the World Beer Cup, it's traditional. Now, that being said, there all of a sudden some of these other categories are coming into place because of some of the crazy fruit beers and the sours and so forth and the ciders now. So, but no, we're pretty much traditional. And
Jordan, I've seen a couple places, or at least I've seen one place actually making beers to specifically do that with, like making a cake beer, and they're going to just put some raspberry, and they have a couple of raspberry and black cherry, but they were making that to do that with. It didn't just come up and go, "Hey, mix these two together." They're actually making a range of beers that you could make a different kind of style of cake with. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, and I've only seen.
Like the soda fountain where you can go up and press the base and put all the syrups in.
But most
that's
places
weird to
they're
me.
going, hey, mix these two together. But no, that's completely different.
It's not Pee Wee League where I'm going grabbing a suicide. Hey, mix all my sodas together and something nasty.
That's why I asked. I didn't know if it was a trend or if it was just these couple places that we've been to that were doing that, because I found it really weird when I read the board and I'm like, this beer, and they say, or try our blends, and I'm like, they're blends. Am I in a tea shop?
Yeah.
And then I look up and it says, mix this beer with this beer, you get this beer, and I'm like, what?
I think whiskey, scotch,
weird.
and bourbon are the only things that should be kind of blended.
Yeah, I mean, Brendan knows exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It was weird to me. It was completely strange. I didn't understand the concept whatsoever of mixing these beers together to come up with another beer.
You guys do that back there, then you give it.
Yeah, you do it back there. Why don't you just call it something else then? Why are we doing it out here?
You know what will happen is let's say we've got. I mean, brewers will blend the same styles together,
Right.
Because if let's say we've got an 80, we've got a 40 barrel fermenter, and we've got a 20 barrel system. So you brew twice of the same style, and what you're really doing is by the time you put the second batch into that first batch, it's a blend of those
Right.
those IPAs or PDG.
Right, but it's
or-
you're just double.
or-
They're just doing
See,
that.
I
but you're
always
not-
think there's an alternative motive that they're not one of those beers isn't selling. And they're like, hey, you should try that blueberry beer with our.
Well, yeah, but that's also the people who try to sell off their. In our case, like, oh, our beer got a little infected, so let's call it a sour and sell it. Which I hate when they try to do that, when they pass off a bad beer trying to sell it.
Or try this buttery popcorn beer.
Yeah. Yeah, that I don't think you can do much with butter on it. It turns buttery and so
Just
forth.
call it a Harry Potter beer or
Yeah.
something, and you're good to go.
I mean, since the sours have come about, I mean, some people won't dump their bad beer.
I know a difference between a sour and an infected beer.
Yeah.
There's a whole big difference there. So, Greg, you were talking earlier. I mean, we went into a little bit of I brought up a little bit of distillery. Does the Brewfest have any kind of distillers still coming into this yet, or
We do not.
just the new winery you said this year, right?
We don't have room for anything beyond this.
Okay.
If we had 1,800 people this year, that
We're
our
good.
venue will be full.
Wow.
I mean,
Okay.
that's our
Great,
threshold.
Okay,
You know,
I gotcha.
and that's a good point. I don't know from a festival standpoint about spirits.
I was just going to say, there's got to be a whole
Yeah.
new set of laws. You got
You'd
to
have to
about.
talk to
Yeah.
state excise to get the laws on
yeah,
that.
exactly.
You know, Indiana's archaic liquor laws are so
Yeah.
strange.
Although
Yeah.
their distillery laws have relaxed a little bit. That's why it's kind of why I was thinking of it too, because now you can get distillery, you can get liquor on Sunday at the
Yeah.
distillery and all
Yeah.
that now. So they enacted some new laws and they're relaxing a few of the others.
I mean, I don't,
But yeah, I wasn't sure how that works on
But
any
I
kind of
haven't,
festival.
I haven't heard of a distiller fest yet. You know,
Chicago's got an amazing whiskey festival.
I'm sure Kentucky
One
and
of the greatest
Tennessee
in-
got
well,
those
yeah,
too.
I mean,
But I
locally
don't
here.
know if they do. I've
No?
never heard of a whiskey fest down in Kentucky. I don't know
There
if
is
they.
one, actually.
Is there one?
Yeah, there's one in Chicago. And
No, that's
there's-
why I just said Chicago's
Well,
amazing.
Yeah, the one in Chicago's really good, and there's a smaller one out of Kentucky, and I think it's strictly a bourbon.
Oh, down in Kentucky. Hell
Yeah,
yes,
I mean,
that's
Yeah.
obviously, I mean that's where it should
But
be.
and again, there's no beer there. It's just I'm sure
No.
there's some strain. There's got to be some. I've never seen a whiskey beer fest. That's for sure.
Well, no, and I'm curious, and I'm just asking. It wasn't she had said they're bringing. Was the winery in there last year? You said, or is this a new first
we
year?
had 2 tables of wines last year.
Okay.
We had 10 wines to sample. This year we're going to have 70 to 75
Whoa.
different wines. So
Wow.
yeah, we really opened it up.
that's
So-
a big jump.
Well,
You said a whiskey beer fest. Isn't that a Boilermaker?
You know, I'm
That would actually be
I'm
kinda
sure you
awesome.
don't want guys going on drinking 8-9 samples of beer, then go and get a shot of whiskey,
Yeah.
and then go into another.
That's
duty-free
every
beer.
Saturday
that's
before
just a
Purdue
dangerous.
game.
how do you drink your beer?
Well, yeah, but not at a festival. It's like 100, couple thousand of us.
Well, yeah, that's
I mean,
true.
speaking of distilling and everything, have you guys thought about using your spent grains for?
Anything else? Do
distilling
you guys
purposes,
distill it
or-
all?
No, as a matter of fact, our spent grain goes to a farmer
That's fantastic.
for his cattle.
Awesome.
We feed our pigs spent grain when we brew.
Mm-hmm. And we'd give it to a pig farmer if they, I think our guys is just a beef farmer right now.
Okay.
Hey,
Oh,
Hayden
yeah.
Farms. Here's more spent grains for you, buddy.
Yeah.
But it's going back to
And
another
it's-
local farmer, and
It's
that's
great, yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
it's-
recycling and keeping it local. That's always good.
Now, if my bacon starts tasting like beer, yeah, I'm going to be really,
Awesome.
really happy.
Well, yeah.
This does taste like Scotch 80.
Happy pigs make happy bacon.
There you go.
Like, Cowboy fills up the little kiddie pool and lets our Professor Hamilton Pigsby kind of swim around in it and just to marinate a little.
That's
Yeah.
more of a brine.
Yeah.
That poor pig's gonna die one day. Cowboy's gonna eat him.
That's a guarantee.
He has no love or sympathy for that pig.
He looks delicious.
I was looking forward to meeting him tonight.
I really can't believe you didn't bring him.
I
thought
know.
you were going to.
I should have brought him. I thought about it. I had the cage open, and then I didn't.
Can you walk him on a leash?
Yeah, he's actually got a harness.
Yeah.
Sometimes on a hot summer day and you're walking him, he smells like cracklings.
Actually, he does. 'Cause
Bits?
Jordan leaves him out in the sun sometimes a little too long, and he literally he gets a sunburn and he starts to peel. And we try to keep Cowboy away at that time because he'll just start peeling off pig jerky.
Yeah.
We'll next time we're here, we'll definitely bring him in. We'll be back here
do
soon.
so.
We'll
He's
bring him in.
welcome.
Yeah, we'll be back in like 3 weeks.
3 weeks. If you come back for the pumpkin ale, you're going to be here in 9 days. About
That's
9 or
actually
10
true.
days.
That's right.
Yeah, I
that's
won't
right.
bring him on that night. There'll be way too many people that night.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
He'll freak out.
another record night, we'll definitely bring him back. So we're pretty much out of time right now, though, guys. We're getting close.
Well,
so
before we go, we got to say a prayer that it does not rain on
Yes.
pumpkin ale.
Yes,
And at the Noblesville Brewfest.
And Noblesville, that's exactly on both of the events. Got a
Dear
big
beer
one.
gods, please don't let it rain.
Beer
So,
gods.
Jerry, is there anything else you want to say about the pumpkin ale release party before we go?
The 9th, 5 to 9, 5 to 10, food.
Come
Lots
thirsty
of
and
beer.
hungry.
Come thirsty. Yeah.
It's come hungry.
No cover charge. 2 bands, no cover charge.
How much is the food?
2 bands?
Huh?
How much is the food?
Depends upon what they're going to charge. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Sally's
So
doing it.
they're catering it, and they're just going to charge whatever.
They're just they're up to their own thing. So
Who's playing?
I don't know.
I'll look it up. We'll
Yeah.
throw it out
We
there.
asked
Yeah.
that earlier, and he didn't
Oh,
know
okay.
that.
We'll look it up and throw it
I'm
out
too
there.
stupid tonight to.
Greg, do you have anything else for the festival coming up?
Well, I saved the best part for last.
Awesome.
Tickets are only $35.
Nice.
You
Wow.
can get them on Ticket Leap. That's ticketleap.com. You can also buy them at Vintage Spirits in Noblesville, the North Store and the South Store.
Ooh, good
if
one.
you buy them the day of, they jump up to $45. So
Wow.
at $35, it's a great bargain. So
Now, do you
get
have-
get in now.
Do you have
Yeah.
VIP tickets or anything like
There is no VIP.
Gotcha.
4
Okay.
hours and we're done.
that? Right on.
It's like the circus comes to town. You drive by Friday, there's nothing there. Saturday, there's a small city. Sunday, we're out
Yeah,
again.
nice.
So 4-hour window.
Yeah, so you got 2 great events coming up here.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Well, even the
That'd be a lot of
45 at
fun.
the door for all the beers and the wines and stuff that you're talking about and the
amazing.
food, that's still actually a good deal for an evening one, too. Something
Yeah.
that kind of leads into evening that's not stuck out in the middle of the heat.
Right.
Indiana fall evening, early fall. Yeah, that's
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. Look forward to it.
Perfect.
Sounds good. All right. Well, thanks, guys.
Thank
Jerry,
you.
thanks for hosting us here again. Greg, thanks for coming on the show
Thank you.
tonight. And,
Anytime.
we'll see you guys soon.
Great.
go.
Thanks.
Thank you, guys.
As ever a mortal knew, King Alcohol is very sly, a liar from the first. He'll make you drink until you're dry, then drink because you thirst. For there's rum and gin
and beer
and wine and brandy of logwood hue
and hop
and port
and flip
combined to make a man look blue.
He says be merry
For his good sherry
and Tom and Jerry
champagne and perry and spirits of every hue. Oh, one of these a fiendish crew as ever a mortal knew. Oh, one of these a fiendish crew as ever a mortal knew. King Alcohol has had his day, his kingdom's crumbling fast. His votaries are heard to say our tumbling days are past.
For there's no rum,
No gin,
nor beer,
no wine, no brandy of any hue,
no hawk,
no port,
nor flip
combined to make a man get blue.
And now they're merry
Without the sherry
or Tom and Jerry
champagne and perry or spirits of every hue. And now they are a temperate crew as ever a mortal knew. And now they are a temperate crew and have given the devil his due.